right now, our secular culture makes unmarried sex look great. Mm-hmm. Any movie, TV show that you watch, it's like these people can't. They meet in a bar. They can barely get out of the Uber before taking each other's clothes off.
They're ripping their clothes off in the hallway.
In the hallway, and they have this encounter, and afterward, they're just sitting there and like they want to smoke a cigarette. And the portrayal is that the best sex is fornication. Mm-hmm. And then the sex that married people have, oh, that's my ball and chain. Oh, we barely want to touch each other. Oh, we sleep in separate rooms and separate beds. And the things that we've been programmed with is that ungodly sex is great and godly sex is not. Mm-hmm. And it's the exact opposite. And I just feel like we need to portray what's really real. Like, listen, me having some one night stand with a chick I'll never see again, that ain't good sex. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Doing Life with Ken and Tabitha. We are so pumped to have you. We got a good one for everybody today, sweetheart. This one is specifically going to be for married people, okay? And so today we are going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about intimacy. We're going to talk about it from a biblical standpoint, but we're going to talk about it from a very real standpoint.
Yes.
So if you are single, you might want to just keep passing by. Don't awaken love before it's time. But, sometimes I feel different about that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like we tell singles, hey, let's just wait. And then there are some people, they get married, and because they've had no information on sex, it is one of the greatest challenges that they have after they get married, because they didn't have any information, any impartation, any revelation of sex until they got married. And it's like, oh, let's get real good at this topic here.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that wants singles to hear about sex from a godly, biblical way so that they can be prepared. So it's almost like...
I don't think we're saying anything that's going to awaken or...
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that there are some that can't handle the topic without getting crazy. And for them, you got to know who you are and move on. But then there's other people that you're in a relationship, it's headed towards marriage. And because that relationship is coming, you need to be informed in this area. So govern yourself accordingly. We ain't here to police you. We're here just to inform you. Good to be with you today. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good.
You've already started to act up.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you're new to the podcast, we want to say welcome. We're so glad that you're here. We always pray for God to send people to our show that really need it, someone who can be impacted by the information and maybe our life experiences that we want to share. So we're so glad that you're here, and we pray that it's a blessing to you.
Tabitha and I, we've been married for 25 years, y'all. And so we started this podcast simply to be able to pay it forward. We had a marriage that was headed for divorce, and now we're best friends. And so we know about the mountaintop of marriage, but also the valley of marriage. And so our podcast is primarily a relationship marriage podcast, but it's also a personal growth podcast. Mm-hmm. So regardless of your relationship status, welcome. We hope that we can be a blessing to you today. And also, if you are ever in Florida, anywhere, we got campuses, come worship with us at a live church. Of course, we're in Orlando, Tampa, Florida, Gainesville, Florida. If you know of people that live in Florida, tell them to come and check us out. I'm sure that they will be glad that they did. And if you can't get to one of our physical locations, join us online. Every Sunday, we have live everything, church online, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're ready to go.
Absolutely. And we have something great for you. This is a tool to help you grow closer to God. This is a 60-day devotional. And again, it's going to help you grow closer to God. We just put some love into this in hopes that it'll be a blessing to you. If you want to find out more information, go to our website, or you can go to the show notes and find out there.
This devotional is called Living at a 9, okay? And it's just a 60-day walk with you, where we give you scriptures for 60 days to help maximize your morning time with Jesus.
Yes.
And it's a project of love, and we believe it will help you be closer to the Lord. So today's episode is entitled Strengthen Your Marriage, and in parentheses, or secondarily, it's going to be the 7-day sex challenge. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to challenge you who are married people to take your sex life to a whole nother level, and you're going to be glad that you tuned in today, all right? And so what do you think about today off the top? Are you ready?
I'm ready for today. I think it's going to be good.
In which way?
I like to talk about this topic of sex because we've counseled so many people, and we talk to so many people who
Right.
are struggling, husbands and wives.
Struggling.
They are struggling in their marriage because their sex life is just, they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
There are health issues, there are insecurities, there's trauma, and people are really suffering.
Yeah.
And I just love to shed light on this topic.
Yeah.
I feel like that it can be a place of shame for a lot of people. A lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, I can't be open with this. So they don't go to counseling. They don't talk to, someone, they don't seek out for help because it's such a private issue as well. And I think what we can do, and why I like to talk about it, is because we kind of just like take the lid off the pot, like turn on the light. There's no darkness here.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hide here.
Yeah.
This is something that's natural. This is something that is a gift from God
Yeah.
to the believer, to the husband and the wife.
Yeah.
And I think that it just breathes life into marriages. And so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, we do segments about sex quite a bit, and it's not to be provocative. It's not for likes or follows or any of that. It's simply to help people. We needed help in our sex life when we were first married, and there are so many people that this is an area that they are struggling in.
Yeah.
You would never know it. I know of people who've been married for years and haven't had sex very much at all. I know of people that we've ministered to that says, we haven't had sex in 7 years. We haven't had sex in 4 years. And I, for the love of God that is in me, know that there is an answer to that.
Yeah.
Like there's something that's broken. Maybe it's trauma. Maybe it's a physical thing. And for those, here's just a little disclaimer. If there's been like extreme vaginal dryness, or if there's been erectile dysfunction, just go to the doctor. You're not a bad person. You don't have to be feeling bad about that. Listen, people have challenges physically in so many different areas. The healthiest thing you could do is just say, this is a struggle for me. Let me go get some testosterone. Let me find out what kind of, what I can do.
Most of the things that we face are natural body changes that we develop as we grow older. And there are things that we can do about them. I mean, we know as women, we have menstrual cycles every 30 days. And then if you have children, you're, pre or post pregnancy. I mean, all of these things affect your body and your sex, your, what is it called? Your libido,
Yeah, that's good.
your sex drive, all of those things, it can affect it. Your hormones. I mean, as you grow older as a woman, menopause, all of these things affect your sex life, and they're natural.
Yeah, and can I just say this right from the beginning? When we start talking about sex, many people already have their conclusions from their past experiences, judgments, and pain. And sometimes when we start talking about sex, they'll almost discount it, like, oh yeah, y'all can talk about sex and how you guys don't deny each other, but I'm going through menopause. Or listen, we've been through menopause, we've been through cancer, we've been married for 25 years, we've had 3 kids. We understand all of those excuses. Yes. But as a born-again believer, there is a place in God where you can walk that's higher than that.
Yes.
It's not free of challenge. It's not free of pain and problems, but there are principles. And whenever you have someone, like we consider ourselves like mentors. We're like a spiritual mom and dad to those who lean into us. We are marriage coaches and mentors. And so whenever you have someone who has a level of fruitfulness, you don't have to be intimidated or make excuses and say, well, that's just not me, or I could never do that. No, I believe that there are certain things, principles that are available for anybody to have more fruit in their life. And this is an area that we struggled in, but we are much better in now. So we kind of want to pay it forward just to be able to help people. So, but why is this topic hard? Why is it taboo? Especially in church.
I think that, the devil has done a great job of hijacking sex. He is the great perverter.
Wow. Yeah.
He has taken something that God has created and made holy, and he has perverted it and made it worldly. He's made it evil. He's made it, there's all kinds of things, bad experiences that we can relate to sex.
Yeah. Abuse, pornography, human trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, go down through the list.
So most people now, I mean, you can't watch a commercial.
Right.
You can't turn on TV. I mean, whatever. Everything is so sexualized. Right. And a lot of times when we hear sex, we think of all of these external, outside, ungodly
and we
influences.
Think dirty.
Yes.
Okay. And we think dirty.
Inappropriate.
Wrong. And that's why some we get some responses the way we do. Because in their mind, they think dirty, inappropriate, wrong. And we think holy,
Yes.
godly, and a gift from Jesus himself.
Yes.
No, really.
Now, and I mean, even like when it comes to kids and stuff, like with, don't talk about sex around the kids. Now, there is a level of, I'm not talking about being inappropriate, but like, growing up for me, I remember the word virgin. Like whenever I heard the word virgin, people say, she's a virgin, he's a virgin. Well, they say virgin. I thought it was a cuss word.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a bad thing to be a virgin because people trivialized, like don't say virgin.
Right.
And so I think even around our children, what we have done is, what sex? Oh, it's what husbands and wives do.
Right.
It's that simple, but it's not bad. It's not, whisper, don't say that.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. So we don't teach our kids, we teach our kids anatomy. Like, this is a penis, this is a vagina, this is sex between a man and a woman is this at a certain age. Yeah. This is my conversation. Sex is when the penis goes into the vagina and there's an ejaculation at a certain age.
At 12, 13,
This is what it is. All right. Now, listen, you're going to feel this and that as you grow older. Hormonally, you're going to have an erection. This is what it is. It's something that God's given you to be able to procreate later on. It is to be saved for a time of marriage. And when you save it, you'll be able to give that to your wife. This is the conversation I'm having with my son.
It's a gift.
You give this to your wife. Your virginity is not something that's taboo or like nasty. I want to just give it away to anybody. It is holy, and it is a gift that is to be given to your wife on the night of your holy matrimony. I'm telling my daughters, this is a gift that you give to your husband. And I think inside of that context, we have to redeem a lot of those things.
Yes.
Like, we have to teach our children, like, to be a virgin is a great thing. Okay. Now, I know, including us, there are many people who are like, well, I missed that a long time ago. I didn't have that message. Okay. But you can, if you're single, you can be born again and rededicate your body to the Lord, and all things become new, So this is not to say, hey, this is not the guilt trip stuff. This is to say, at the highest level now, what we can pass down to the next generation, how we can raise our kids is like that. But secondarily, how can we just have great sex as a Christian married couple? How can we have like toes cream, like curling, like scream, like good sex, like holy, like fulfilled sex? Not like this is what I got to do, but this is what I get to do sex. How can we have like, because right now, I like what you said about, I said, what's the problem? And you said about the devil. Right now, our secular culture makes unmarried sex look great. Any movie, TV show that you watch, it's like these people they meet in a bar, they can barely get out of the Uber before taking each other's clothes off.
They're ripping their clothes off in the hallway.
In the hallway, and they have this encounter, and afterward, they're just sitting there and like they want to smoke a cigarette. And the portrayal is that the best sex is fornication. And then the sex that married people have, oh, that's my ball and chain. Oh, we barely want to touch each other. Oh, we sleep in separate rooms and separate beds. And the things that we've been programmed with is that ungodly sex is great and godly sex is not. And it's the exact opposite. And I just feel like we need to portray what's really real. Like, listen, me having some one night stand with a chick I'll never see again, that ain't good sex. That is a case for an STD or child that, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yes.
That ain't good sex. Good sex is when we've been together 25 years and I know every nook and cranny of your body. I know what you like. I know how you like it. And it's not based upon this physical part of the sex. Is based upon this love and this intimacy, this love that we have for God, and this relationship that we've cherished and we've protected all the days of our lives. And that's why years ago, I asked my counselor, and he's been married 40 plus years. Years ago, I said, how do you stay attracted to the same woman? And he says, the reason that sex gets better as you age is because now you have more history. And since you have more history, you can have more intimacy. And the reason that sex gets better the longer you've been married is because how close you guys become. And I think that's true. Would you say that's true?
It is true.
I'm feeling that. We're having the best sex ever.
You grow together. And when you do this, at like for the experience that I would like for my children to have, and any person who is not married, even if you're not a virgin, you can still just rededicate, your sex life to God. Like, no, I'm not going to have sex until I marry my husband or my wife.
Yeah.
I want their experience to be, that they present themselves, to each other as gifts. But I guess this is what I'm trying to say. When we first met, we've been married for 25 years. We did have that tear your clothes off before you get to the door, kind of passion toward each other, maybe even into newlywed years and things like that. But then it's just like you grow, like you grow past that point. Sometimes you might revisit, you'll get there. But it's that, like you said, that longevity of knowing each other and experiencing life together and memories.
Great sex is built on the agape love of God. It is not built on selfishness, which is let me get what I want. I want you to make me feel good. It is based upon the agape love of God. And so when God is at the center of your relationship, he'll also be at the center of your sex life. And in that place is where harvest and fruitfulness is. And so I want to lay some foundation very quickly, if you don't mind. Here's the number one thing. Sex is not dirty and it's not bad.
Yes.
Okay. It has been created by God for us. Okay. So I think we've already talked about why some view sex as dirty and bad. Anything else that you wanted to add on to that of why people view it that way? How did you view sex before growing up, before Jesus? How did you view sex?
I thought that sex was, I didn't really have good thoughts about it. I wasn't really that kind of person that was very sexually active because I had just a history of abuse and things like that. So I was never really inclined to it. But my belief on sex, if I could just say, my moral attitude towards sex was that it is okay to have sex as long as you're in a committed relationship with someone. So if I had a boyfriend, as long as he was my boyfriend, it was okay for me to have sex with him. As long as I wasn't just having sex with random people, that was wrong. But if I was in a committed relationship with you, well then, yeah, that was okay.
And how did you renew your mind? And what did you renew your mind to from that?
I renewed my mind to the Word of God that said that, to keep your body, to basically not that when I learned what sex was, that sex was the consummation to marriage. It was when you become husband and wife, that this was the gift from God. I just renewed my mind. And it was so good for me because I had been sexually abused in my past. It reintroduced sex to me in a way that was holy, and it was a way that I wanted to partake in it. I wanted to participate in it because now I said, oh, wow, this is a gift. This is from God. This is for me. I'll take that.
Do you feel like you going through sexual abuse in your past hindered your sex life with me?
Yes, at first it did.
In which way?
I had to overcome feelings of shame. It was really weird because it at one point it was just I used sex as sex was told me that you love me. Oh, he loves me because we have sex together, which is a lie, which is, a lot of women fall for that. So I use that okay, if I have sex with him, well, then I know that he loves me, blah, blah, blah. And then the second part of it is, so once we got married, though, I know that you love me because we got married, but now it turned into, ooh, I don't want to have sex with him because I feel so dirty. I feel so guilty. I feel so unclean that even though I was married and in this holy kind of committed relationship, I almost didn't deserve the goodness of that,
Looking back, why do you think you felt that way?
It was trauma. It was guilt. It was shame. I felt dirty.
You felt that having sex
was dirty.
And do you feel like that now? And how did you get out of that?
No, I don't feel like that anymore. And I feel like I like I said, I got out because I found out from the Word what sex really was. I found out that God created sex, that it was for the married woman and man. And that was life-giving to me.
Yeah. That will bring me to point number 2 of my foundation is sex has 3 godly purposes. And I don't think people know that. Number 1 is for procreation. So the command to be fruitful and multiply can't be accomplished without sex. Number 2 is for intimacy between husband and wife. And this is huge because if we don't have sex with a consistency, we turn into roommates.
Absolutely.
And so the more that we have sex, the more we have a bond. We have intimacy. And so
You become friends and not lovers.
if you don't have sex,
Yeah,
you become
just like,
friends.
yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
mean, we're
interesting.
friends, but you need to be lovers.
Yeah, yeah. You need to be friends with benefits. In a holy way. Sex has three godly purposes. Here's my third one: for enjoyment between husband and wife.
Yeah.
So it's for procreation, it's for intimacy between us, and it's also for enjoyment. And I don't think that some people fully understand the last two, especially in the church world. They think it's just for having babies. And I thank God for the mechanics of having babies. But sex to me is more than just the function that we're doing this to produce another human life.
Right.
This is something, and so you say, what is the context? Songs of Solomon.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and read Songs of Solomon and even some of the Proverbs, the scriptures talk about how your breast will satisfy me at all times. The scriptures talk about how, you know, come, let's have our taste of love till the morning, and come taste and see, and how your breasts are like two coconuts and up a palm tree, and I want to climb the palm tree. And it's just all of these, this verbiage that through the manifold wisdom of God, he allows to be in the scripture to help us understand that sex is not dirty, bad, or taboo. It is a gift. And it's not just for procreation. It's also for intimacy and enjoyment. And here's what I think many married people need to know is that the husband should enjoy sex and the wife should enjoy sex. This should not be a one-way street, because if so, you need to have some real conversations, because I think that there are some women, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but from what I see just through the feedback, please let me know in the comments, but it just feels like there are some women that feel like this is what they do for their husbands. Their husbands need it, so I give it to them, right? Oh, baby girl, there's something that you don't know about sex, because you should be enjoying sex as well. Maybe it's not something that you don't know, or something that your man doesn't know that he needs to do for you. So can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I think that you should enjoy it. Every woman should enjoy it as well, you know, just as much as the man. And I think speaking through experience, you have to be willing to explore, you know, with your husband, what you like and what you don't like. You know, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. I don't like that. You know, try it like this. Because if you don't speak up for yourself, I think women in so many aspects of life have, for some reason, we don't speak up for ourselves, whether it's for our health, whether it's on our jobs. You know, we let other people get promoted, but we don't promote ourselves. And even in our, you know, in our marriage, we take care of the kids, we clean the house, we take care of a husband, but we don't take care of ourselves. And this is an area where, just like all the other ones, we have to speak up for ourselves. Baby, that feels really good. I know you're happy and you like that, but I didn't.
Right.
I don't know why. Help me figure this out. I want to like it too.
Well, yeah, and I think that's really good. But I would say, can we speak up in a context? I feel like the husband should make an avenue whereby the wife can speak up, so that she doesn't have to say, like, it's now the time, it's now the good time. Should I say it right now? No, bruh. Why don't you guys start having family meetings every week or every other week? And one of the things in our family meetings, we talk about money, we talk about kids' calendar, and I talk about sex. And when we talk about sex, it's very simple. How am I pleasing you? How is it? And that's a wonderful opportunity for her to not feel threatened by saying, hey, you've done this, and I don't really like that. Can you do this? But I think one thing that we have done, especially back in the beginning, so what we did is that we didn't even know what an orgasm really was. I mean, we knew what an orgasm was, but I think it was many years that you didn't have an orgasm until we went to some pastors, and we had pastors at our church that really were just very well versed in sex. And we went to them humbly, and we sat down and we said, teach us everything you know. They had been married 20 plus years, and they taught us body parts. They taught us where the clitoris was on a woman. They got out a diagram and say, this is how you stimulate the clitoris for your wife to be able to have an orgasm. She can have an orgasm in the G-spot or the clitoris.
But most women don't have a
G-spot orgasm. Most women, like almost 80, 90% of women will only be able to have a clitoris orgasm. Listen to me. That was news to... Wasn't that a good deal for you? Yeah, that's a good deal for you. Like, and so that was 20 years ago, but I'm thinking, man, So people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, Hosea 4:6. So I'm working hard, you know what I'm saying, thinking that this is the way that sex should go, not even knowing that God created your body a little bit different than mine. And I really believe if we take this subject out of the realm of dirty and taboo, we can bring it over into the place where we can really get some answers.
Absolutely.
And I'm so thankful for pastors and people that are bold enough to say, sex is holy, it's from God, this is how you do it, this is how you do it well. Let's talk about sexual appetites, let's talk about sexual rhythms. Because really, when you're eating good at home, you never have to eat out. And I think that you've made it your business to make sure that I eat good at home.
Yeah.
I've made it my business to make sure that you eat good at home. I never really walk around, other than the other night, no, I'm just playing, unsatisfied. And I make sure that you're not unsatisfied. I want to make sure that you enjoy this.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I enjoy this.
Yeah.
We understand that this is not just about having sex. This is also about intimacy. And it's funny, man. People don't have a problem talking about intimacy.
I know.
I go to churches and they say, hey, Pastor Ken, we want you to talk. Yeah, can you talk about intimacy? What you want me to talk about? Sex? Well, just intimacy. But what they're saying is they want me to talk about sex, but they won't even say sex. Like, if it's sex, say it's sex. My God. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
is this
there's
word?
a difference between intimacy and sex.
Yeah. Like, can we say the word? Like,
Right.
you want me to talk about sex. You want me to talk about frigidness, sexual rhythms. You want me to talk about not having a squeaky bed, putting the door on the lock so the kids don't run in, seeing what y'all doing. You want me to talk about sex.
Yeah.
You know, don't talk about intimacy. So, but intimacy is a very important part of not just sex, but our relationship.
Yeah.
Because from intimacy, great sex is birthed. How would you differentiate the definition between intimacy and sex, or would you?
I mean, intimacy is closeness, you know, it's that, that affection. Intimacy is kind and soft and sweet and loving, and gentle.
And if a man is not being intimate, it's going to have a hard time for his wife having sex.
Intimacy is very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah, intimacy is most of the time when we have sex, I'm more fulfilled on the intimacy than I am the physical part. Just it's emotional. I'm more emotionally involved in all of that, and intimacy comes into that. Emotional, the intimacy. It's all one for me. And so intimacy is a big deal. So if you're like, oh man, you want to have a good time at the end of the day, just be intimate with me. And
it's not at the end of the
and
day.
know my love
Intimacy
language.
is all day long.
It's all day long. So for me, like, I know I like to be touched. So if I'm like just going about my day or whatever, and you just come and put your hand on my shoulder, like I stop. It speaks to me. Like, I tune into you. You need to just give me a little massage there while you're at it. Yes, that's awesome. But I'm just saying, know her love language, husbands.
Right.
Because she's going to respond to intimacy, and that intimacy will lead to what you want.
Great sex.
Sex.
Here's the foundation I was laying. Sex is not dirty or bad. Sex has godly purposes. Here's the third point. A great sex life takes intentionality.
Yeah.
You can grow this area of your life if you want to. This is what we've learned over the years. It's crazy too, because let the people who have ears to hear, let them hear. Like the clitoris thing. I remember this was probably last year, and you all can go back through. Please, in the comments, let us know what is the favorite episode that we've done on sex for you. But we did one, I don't know if it was Sex God's Way. We've done so much different stuff on sex. And I had a woman who sent the church, she sent a $200 offering in a letter and wrote it to us and said, thank you for teaching me and my husband where the clitoris was. She was 68 years old and her husband was 73. She was like, for all this time, I've been going through the motions. And I just wanted to sow a seed to let you know that I appreciate you all. I'm almost 70 years old.
That's why we do it. You talked about like spiritual mom and dad. I'm talking about coaches, and iron sharpens iron relationships here. Like, if I have information to give to you, know, women in menopause, like, oh my goodness, you can get some vaginal estrogen cream, and it will just change everything for you.
Has it been
It's
working
wonderful.
for you?
Yes, it's been,
we haven't talked about that.
It's been working
It's
well.
been good?
Yep.
Oh, praise God.
I tried it out. It's
All right.
working well.
All right.
There are things, so you talk to your gynecologist about it, talk to your doctor about it. Some women can do things, some women can't do things. But there's usually something something out there, whether it's coconut oil, whether it's vitamin E, there's something out there that can help you just have a better sex life.
So in the spirit of intentionality, let's talk about the 7-day sex challenge. All right.
Okay.
What is it? Why is it? Talk to me.
I love it. Okay, so it is what it is.
It is.
A 7-day sex challenge. So every day, at least once a day for 7 days in a row, you have sex.
Yes.
It's just what it is.
And this is a challenge that we want to
It is
encourage
what it
married
is.
people to start. All right. And so
Like right now.
Like right now.
Well, you might not be able to if you're menstruating and things like that. Wait,
The
after.
disclaimers is over with. Let's just say what it is. I want you to talk to your spouse and say, I just watched a podcast about having a 7-day sex challenge. Let's take this challenge together.
You're a wife, just write it on a note and put a bow on it and say, this is my gift to you. And then let it say 7 days sex challenge.
This is the gift that keep on giving. This don't cost you no money at all. You ain't got to go into your savings account for this one. You ain't got to go to Eddie
It's
V's to the
free,
steakhouse. This one is, this is wonderful. 7 days of sex. We've done this.
We have.
We've done the 7-day sex challenge. How was it for you?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you learn from it?
I learned a few things from it. I actually didn't know if I would learn anything, but it was fun. Here's the biggest thing I learned. Okay, here's a few things. First, I felt like it was kind of nice to not be concerned about who's going to initiate, like whatever, like you're having something.
We just know at the end of the day.
Come on.
This is happening.
It's happening.
This is
So
happening.
that was one point. I think another point was there was another point that was just like, oh wow, that was easy. Maybe I'll remember it. But one thing I felt like as far as, being a woman and being menopausal and all of this stuff, or being tired at the end of the day, it just wiped away all the excuses. And I found that even though sometimes I didn't feel like it, like if I didn't feel like it, it didn't matter. I was going to do it anyway.
Right.
And I did it and I liked it. You know what I mean? It was just like,
That's a word.
there was no excuse.
Yeah.
And I learned that it really didn't matter if I feel like it. I just get it together, you know?
Yeah. And then like it though.
Yeah.
You didn't think you would like it.
I didn't-
You
yeah.
had excuses,
Yeah.
but then did it and you liked it.
And I said, you can't like get it together. I don't mean that like in a bad way. You know what I mean? It meant like, okay, I know it's coming up tonight, girl. You better get it together. You better get in that shower and whatever it takes, put some lip gloss on. If you need to put some good smelling, do what you need to do for you.
Yeah, I think that it was good. The consistency of it, the knowing that it was going to happen, the taking the guesswork out of it, the mind preparation that, okay, I don't care what's happening in my day.
It's going
I'm going to
down.
be tired. I know that this is what we're going to do.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It was just,
Now, I got tired. I did. And
that's so funny to me.
yeah, about day 4 or 5, I was like, man, we got 7 days of this, But I went ahead and I pushed through, and I'm glad that I did, So I think you enjoyed it more than me.
I did.
Yeah.
I had fun. I was all 7 days. I was bright-eyed and ready to go.
But anyway, but I thought it was good. It wasn't that it wasn't good. It was very good. But this would be my one warning I would tell people. Like when you have a 7-day sex challenge, then there's a temptation to be like, okay, we did that, and not think about sex again for the next 2 weeks. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We did that 5 years ago.
Yeah, your 7-day sex challenge is supposed to awaken something in you to say we can have more consistent sex.
Yeah.
What can that be like? Every other day, every 3 days, once a week. It's a conversation. It's supposed to jumpstart something in you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to let you know what you can do if you remove the excuses, what you really could do if you wasn't so tired at the end of the day, to show you what you can do in the future. Not to say, well, we did that 7 days. Now I guess we go for the next 7 years. No, that wasn't the point of it.
We challenge each other. And I think the biggest thing is that we challenged ourselves. Like, like I said, I can do this even if I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like I saw it coming up and got nervous. Like, oh my gosh,
Right.
okay, let me go. What am I going to do?
I think there was a vulnerability piece that I heard you mention. What did you?
I remember that too, because it was that was the point that I forgot. It was, I remember feeling like right in the middle of it is that, wow, like we're really doing this. Like, it doesn't matter. Like if you don't feel like it, and if I don't feel like it, like even if it's too late, we're going to do this. It felt very vulnerable to me. It felt like we're committed to this and we're going to do this no matter what. I don't know why. It was just a different kind of, like I said, it showed me like this is important, number one, and we are able to do this.
As a team, let's get her done.
Yeah,
let's get her done.
I felt like teamwork.
Can I get a round of applause
yes,
right there?
that.
Let's go. Husbands and wives unite. Oh, man. So we got 5 points here for those of you all who want to take the 7-day sex challenge. Very quickly, what I want you to do is in your comments, very quickly, just tell us what you think about this. All right. And then I want you to, at the end of your 7 days, make sure that you get back to the comments, let us know your experiences, or just email us and let us know, write us, let us know what you're getting out of this. We want to make sure this is bringing value to you. We want to hear your testimony and story. Here's a few things that you need to know. Number one, you got to quit making excuses. All right. If you're angry, you'll feel better. If you don't feel good, do it anyway. You'll feel better. Number two, plan it if you have to. When it comes to sex, plan sex in. Say on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to do this. On Friday, we're going to do that. I don't understand.
We've done that before. I remember having a 6-month-old baby and just putting in my calendar, girl, on this day, this is what you're going to do.
I think the whole baby thing is funny. I think that there's some who are having babies and they feel like, I'm taking care of a baby, and they allow the baby to kind of get hold of their whole life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that might be true for the first 4 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks. But after that, you have to start getting some normalcy on purpose. But number three is this: put some boundaries around the children. We don't have children sleeping in our bed because the bed is the place we make babies, not the place that babies sleep. And I say that just to let you know that when it comes to children, they can actually be the biggest blockers, so to say, of good sex.
It's so funny. They will suck up all of you. Here's the thing. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, we've been married for 3 years and now we're going to start a family. They're going to get pregnant. And the truth is, you started the family when you said, I do.
You did.
The husband and wife are the root, the foundation of the family. That's your family. When you have that baby, they are the addition.
They're going to go out and have
to
their own
your family.
Yes.
You're building on the family that has already been started. Yes. And so when the baby comes, yes, you do everything for that baby, but you cannot allow the baby to be in a position where they take from the family that's already been established. It's always in addition to.
Yeah. Number 4 is set yourself to please your spouse, first and foremost. All sexual encounters between a married husband and wife, Christian husband and wife, should be, I want to please you. And your should be what?
I want to please you.
And at that crossroads, great sex is found. Mm-hmm. So I want to please you. What do you like? How do you want it? How long do you want it? What do you want the temperature to be? You want to please me. And that's what we call selfless sex.
Yes.
It's better than selfish sex. And number 5 is take the 7-day sex challenge.
Take it.
Take it. And we want to hear from you of how this went. Okay. And so, man, this is about to be the best week of your life. In the name of Jesus. I believe it with all of my heart. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you stuck around with us, we want to hear from you. If we're being a blessing to you, leave us a dope review, email us, share your testimony with us, answer any questions. We want to know that this podcast is reaching the right people around the world.
Yes. And also our goal is to help you grow closer to God and closer to the people that he's placed in your lives. If you're newer to our podcast and you have questions, or if you have questions, period, you can reach out to us at our email that's posted in our show notes. We answer those questions every once in a while, just so that we can be a help to you.
And get hold of this book if you can. If you want to be closer to God, you need some discipline for your morning. We have a 60-day devotional that will help you live at a 9. On a scale of 1 to 10, we don't want your relationship with God being at a 5 or a 6. We want it to be at least at a 9. We want to help you with that. You can find more information on our website to grab hold of your book. And if you're ever in Florida, come worship with us at Alive. If you can't make it here, 10:30 every Sunday morning live. We would love to have you join our online family. And last but not least, if you want to come to a life-changing conference, a live conference is happening soon. It happens the first week of November. Thousands of people from around the world will come in with hunger and will have an encounter with God. 3 days can change the next 30 years. Get your tickets while they last. You can go to our website for that as well. Just know that you're loved, you're cared for. We appreciate you, we honor you, and we hope to see you again real soon. God bless you. Peace.